students, I would like to welcome you today to Pathways to Play. Pathways to Play is our new club here at KEC. We started Educators Rising last semester. Educators Rising, as you will recall, is to help you learn more about teaching in general. Should you want to go into teaching as a career after high school and after college, we want to give you some tools to learn more about that. So where Educators Rising focuses on teaching in any grade, Pathways to Play is really going to hone in on teaching in the early childhood education area. So I'm going to welcome you to this meeting and kind of give you an introduction of what we are going to be learning about during Pathways to Play, as well as tell you a little bit about what our meetings are going to look like. So let's move on to that. So we're going to learn extensively about something called the creative curriculum. So pictured here is one of the books in the creative curriculum. This is something that we're doing in Pathways to Play, which, just to remind you, it's something we're doing cooperatively with the DeKalb Regional Office of Education. So I want to start off with a basic question that I really kind of struggled answering this one. I looked at a lot of different things, but this is what I came up with. What is curriculum? Curriculum is a broad term used to describe what we want children to learn, which is the content, and how we as teachers go about helping children to learn, which are our processes. So the what of learning as well as the how of learning, the content and processes. Content includes both knowledge, things that we want them to know in their head, as well as skills, things we want them to be able to do. So knowledge may be something about knowing their colors, knowing numbers, recognizing shapes, being able to count, that kind of stuff. Skills are things, well, I guess actually being able to count would be a skill, but other skills would be being a friend to others, being cooperative, learning how to ride a bike, learning how to jump, things like that. So both knowledge and skills. And then by processes, excuse me, we're looking at what we do as teachers to help children to learn. So how do we go about helping children to learn? And as we've talked about a lot in our class, really the research talks about children learning through play. They learn through hands-on activities. So a lot of our processes are going to focus on making sure that children have the opportunity to learn through hands-on experiences. A well-written curriculum helps an early childhood teacher know what to teach, that content, as well as how to help them to best learn and understand, which are those processes. A strong curriculum is based on research. For example, researchers may look at the things that kids should learn. What should they know? What skills should they have? And research is also going to point to how children learn best. So a lot of research has happened historically in early childhood education as well as more recently. So a strong curriculum is based on research and studies that people have done to learn more about education and early childhood education. Next slide, we're going to look at what is the creative curriculum. The creative curriculum is simply one model or one approach to how to teach young children. The creative curriculum is the most widely used preschool curriculum in the United States and the one that we're going to be focusing on in Pathways to Play in partnership with the Regional Office of Education. So as part of the grant that the Regional Office of Education received, they wanted to start this club that we call Pathways to Play, and they wanted to help you to learn more about early childhood education. They were also asked to choose a curriculum that they would use to help you learn about it, and the curriculum that was chosen was the creative curriculum. The creative curriculum is also the curriculum that I, Mr. Kimmel, have used since the beginning of my career way back in 1853, I believe. Actually, in 1987 is when I first became a preschool teacher in Rockford, Illinois, working at Living and Learning Preschool. So I've been working with children and families since 1987 and using the creative curriculum all that time. Other curriculum models that you may hear about in early childhood education include the developmental interaction approach, also called the Bank Street approach, the high scope curriculum, the Montessori method, as well as Reggio Emilia. So as time permits in our class, we may explore some of these, but we're really going to focus on the creative curriculum. Continuing with what is the creative curriculum, the creative curriculum was first introduced in 1978 as a single book, just one book. I had that book, and it was designed to help teachers create rich learning environments to help children learn through play. The first book that came out presented 4 interest areas that teachers were encouraged to set up in their classrooms to help children learn through hands-on exploration. The original 4 interest centers were blocks, the house corner, art, and table toys. The creative curriculum book was revised in 1988 for the 2nd edition, 1992 for the 3rd edition. In 2002, the 4th edition came out, and in 2010, just a couple of years back, the 5th edition came out, and each edition made improvements upon the previous and added some additional interest centers. The most recent addition, the 5th edition to the creative curriculum, includes 10 indoor interest centers as well as outdoor play. The interest centers that are now included that have expanded beyond the original 4 are blocks, dramatic play, toys and games, art, library, discovery, sand and water, music and movement, cooking, and technology. So these are kind of the 10 different interest areas that they encourage you to have in your classroom for early childhood age children, as well as have outdoor play. And of course, some of these things can take place outdoors as well. So those are the 10 areas that we're going to be learning more about. As you will see, you'll recognize some of these. You'll recognize blocks as something that we've done already. We've done a little sand and water when we learned about sensory experiences. We've done some cooking together, but we're going to learn about some other areas as well as we dig into the creative curriculum. Teaching Strategies is the company that publishes the creative curriculum, and they now have expanded to publish a library of books and resources where each book focuses on a different aspect of teaching young children. So pictured here is their library, a lot of volumes that they have, just a lot of different things to help teachers be good teachers of young children. So I wanted to show the picture of what that one book back from, I believe, 1978 has become as they've learned more about teaching, more about young children, and came up with additional resources to help teachers to be good teachers. Teaching Strategies, the company also has online resources to assist teaching and assessing learning. So we may look at the online resources a little bit as well. So the next question I want to talk about with you is how will we be learning about the creative curriculum? So I've introduced it to you, told you a little bit about what it is, but I want to dig in deeper to help you learn more about this very valuable curriculum for early childhood. So during each Pathways to Play club meeting, which will be taking place during our class sessions, we're going to explore different aspects or different parts of the creative curriculum. Aspects that we're going to learn about include how children develop and learn, the learning environment, what children learn, caring and teaching, and partnering with families. So as you're looking through this list, you're going to say, gosh, we've already learned a little bit about the learning environment. We've learned a little bit about caring and teaching. And I totally agree with you. I think as we learn about the creative curriculum, it's going to be an opportunity for us to kind of relearn things. And when we relearn things, oftentimes we learn them better than just having learned it once. I also have showing up here a graphic provided by the creative curriculum that kind of puts everything together and shows how it's all connected. So at the very, very bottom, we see a block that says theory and research. So a good curriculum, as I stated earlier, needs to be based on theories, needs to be based on research. I can't just sit and make something up. I need to base it on what I've learned about young children. On top of that, we see a pentagon with words in each block. We see caring and teaching. So how does the teacher go about caring and teaching for young children? We see what will children learn. We see the learning environment, that classroom environment that we're going to organize for children. We see how children develop and learn, which is similar to what children learn, but what children learn is more the content versus how children develop and learn is the processes part. And then the last part of that pentagon, we see partnering with families. We always want to remember that early childhood teachers are there to complement families, to supplement families, to serve families, to partner with families. So we are not the most important people in children's lives, but families are the most important people in children's lives. And then at the center of that pentagon, you see the 10 different interest areas. So we go about accomplishing all those things on the outside by helping children learn during their interactions with blocks, dramatic play, toys and games, art, library, discovery, sand and water, music and movement, cooking, technology, and outdoors.